Hey everybody, and welcome to day 14 of May the Force Be With You month here on Plastic Nostalgic. Now today I'm going back to a couple of the original movies and got these figures from the Star Wars Retro series. This is Chewbacca from the original movie Star Wars, and here is Han Solo in his Hoth gear from The Empire Strikes Back. Now these are both figures that I had as a child, and they somehow miraculously survived the Great Toy Purge. So let's get these two new retros out of their package and check it out. Today, on the 14th day of May the Force Be With You month, we have the Star Wars retro releases of Chewbacca from the Star Wars movie and Han Solo in his Hoth gear from The Empire Strikes Back. Now, these are both characters I had as a kid, and I can't wait to check them out and compare them to the ones that I had. Always be careful when using a knife, because Wookiees are known to be quite temperamental. And what could be considered an accident might not be taken the same way from an angered Wookiee. There's the famous retro card back with the small checklist of the characters that came out in this wave, which included Han Solo, Chewbacca, Princess Leia Organa, Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, and the Stormtrooper. So let's get him out of this box and see how he looks. Okay, here's his famous bowcaster. Looks a little different from the movie bowcaster, but this is the retro release. He is as detailed as I remember, with his little pouch on the side and his iconic bandolier. I remember his hands not holding the gun too well, but they have a little clip on it, so it looks a little better. Now, I didn't have the bowcaster when I was a kid because I got my Chewbacca from another friend off of a trade. But here he is, the Star Wars Chewbacca retro release. Let's set him aside and get Han Solo out of his packaging. Oh, wow. I guess Chewbacca must be one of those good toys, because I do not see one of those warning papers inside this one. Okay, that came off pretty easy. Han Solo from The Empire Strikes Back. Let's get him out of here. Well, let's check out to see how this toy is going to try and kill us. So always remember to store your toys carefully, because you do not want them choking you. It's real danger. Toys like this have been known to choke small children and possibly some house pets. And here is Han Solo in his Hoth gear, making parkas popular once again. He has a little holster on his side, and I was a bit disappointed as a kid that the gun didn't fit in there, but it fit nicely in his hand. They all have that simple retro articulation, and this one's pretty stiff, it being brand new and everything. Those Han Solo action figures are always ready for the quick draw. Always got his hand right there on the holster. And here is Han. And here is our favorite Wookiee and the co-pilot of the Millennium Falcon, Chewbacca, from the Star Wars Retro Collection. Here is a side-by-side comparison with the Chewbacca I had as a kid and the new one that I just opened, the Star Wars Retro Edition. As you can see, this one is very shiny compared to the other one, whose limbs are a little bit looser. But this one is well played with, and you can see that some of the paint on the bandolier is washed off or rubbed off, but he's in pretty good state considering his age. You can see some of his teeth paint is worn off and on his nose too, but because his eyes was set down inside, that the paint on those has lasted pretty good. Now it looks like it could possibly be the same mold for both of them. Although you can see on this one, the mold, where the mold came together, is not as evident on this one. And it could be because this one is well played with. But they are extremely similar. And I guess that's what they were going for with the retro release of these guys. Okay, let's set him aside and get Han Solo out here. And you can see right off immediately the difference between the old one and the new one is the old one is shown facing forward, where the newer one is facing the opposite way. And here we have a side-by-side comparison of Han Solo in his Hoth gear. This is mine from really, really long time ago, when it first came out with The Empire Strikes Back. Let's see what it says here. 1980. Oh, that was a few years ago. But you can see that some of the paint's a little wore on his gloves and on the tips of his shoes here. But he's still pretty tight figure. Legs are a little loose, but I've seen looser. And here is the new one. Nearly identical. Like I said, it could have been the same mold. But I do notice a couple little differences in the detail on the belt there. How crisp the older one looks compared to the newer one, as far as the lines in the detail. Very, very similar though, and it's hard to tell the difference. Well, there's a little difference. This one had the regular holes, and this one has those hex-looking holes. But as far as a representation, pretty close, pretty close. I have to say the paint job on the face is a little clearer on the older one than the newer one. Could just be the weathering that this has been through in the years that I played with it. But now we have a new one, and we can give old Han the rest he deserves. Han Solo from the Star Wars Retro Collection. Thanks for joining us today on day 14 of May the Force Be With You month here on Plastic Nostalgic. And be sure to join us for more Star Wars unboxing goodies all month long. But be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. See y'all next time.